So welcome everyone. I am so happy to have you all for this free online group coaching masterclass. So I'm Suzi Lula. I'm a spiritual therapist, have a full-time practice for over 20 years now. I'm best-selling author of a book called The Motherhood Evolution, How Thriving Mothers Raise Thriving Children. And I have an online library of transformational online courses that are self-paced. And I have with me here Joy Madden, who bravely and courageously is here to assist us all to experience the power of transformation in a group. So I'm grateful to have you, Joy. Thank you so much for being here with me. And Joy is a client of mine, so real live client, and we've been working together for a good bit of time now. What I can tell you about Joy, I could tell you so many things, but I think the greatest and biggest thing that I can say to Joy is that she is one of the most dedicated students of herself, student of transformation that I think I've ever met. I'm very blessed. My clients are just real truth seekers and very committed, very dedicated. And Joy, you are definitely that. So I wanted to give you all an overview of what's going to happen in this class, and then we're going to dive in. So I believe that there is nothing more powerful in this lifetime than our own individual transformation. I think to dedicate yourself and to commit yourself to transforming your own life is the richest way that you can live your life. You know, we have X amount of time on this planet. It goes by in a nanosecond, and none of us guaranteed our tomorrows. And so to live the richest, most fulfilled, most transformative, most inspired, expansive life, I think is what we're all here for. It's what our soul, what our spirit, and what our human self is craving. So I wanted to create this class, and then this is the precursor to a 12-week group coaching intensive that I'm going to be offering coming up that will show you how to experience the power of transformation, what happens in a therapeutic session, and the possibility and the potentiality of what can happen in a therapeutic session. So we're going to go behind the curtains, so to speak, and I'm going to be teaching you all real therapeutic processes that you can use with yourself, so that in this 12 weeks that we would spend together, or this class, if this is what you choose, from the beginning of this class to the end of this class, you can transform, so that by the time this class, and certainly the 12 weeks is over, you will be a different individual than when you started. So this class, Joy and I are going to dive in. And I don't really know what she's going to talk about. She is a real client of mine, so I do know her very well. And I have an idea of a couple of different directions, but we haven't really talked about it. I really don't know what her intention and where we're going to go. So this is a real session. Because of the time constraints, we'll probably work together for about 15, 20, 25 minutes, depending. And then I'm going to ask for questions and answer questions from you all. And this is the way the structure of the 12-week course is going to go. I'll work with different individuals. I will, while I'm working with the individual, be assisting you to take the information and the processes and make them your own. And then we're going to work together and untangle and deconstruct exactly what happened during the session, so that you all can make this your own. So as we're going through in this class, you're going to hear her talk about her life and her situations and her circumstances. And as you're listening, I want you to be listening through the ears of your own life. So she is a mom. She might be talking about her kids. She might be talking about her marriage. She might be talking about her finance. She might be talking about her relationship with her parents and anything. And as you're hearing her, I want you to be translating this and listening to your own life and how it translates and how it applies to something that you're working on in your own life. Because when one of us becomes vulnerable and one of us opens ourselves up and exposes ourselves in a safe way, that opens the portal and the bridge and the door for all of us to transform and to evolve. So when one of us is willing to evolve and she's willing to transform publicly, when one of us is willing to do this, it creates a space for all of us to rise up together. And that is my wish for you in this particular class, that you leave transformed, you leave not the same as you are coming. So a couple of quick things, and we're going to dive in. First, safety. There is nothing more important, both in this conversation between Joy and myself, but also in your own consciousness. If you want to transform, safety is the quality that you want to begin to embrace, and that comes in an atmosphere of acceptance and compassion and non-judgment. So this space is a very sacred space. I feel very privileged to get to do what I do and to have another individual be willing to open up their heart and their life to me. So I consider it the most sacred of relationships. So what we all want to be doing as you're watching is to create a real safe space for her to share from the depths of her soul, the depths of her being, however much she chooses to share. And also be creating an atmosphere of safety within your own consciousness, so that as you're listening to her, within your own consciousness, you are getting insights, you are getting revelations, you are getting wisdom, you are getting inner guidance. So safety. Next, intentionality. I've never started a session, could never start a session without asking the person what is their intention. So as you're listening to Joy give me her intention, you'll see, I'll take you through it. I want you to ask, what is your own intention? So let's just do that right now. So it's just all take a nice deep breath in. If you're watching on the replay, just take a nice deep breath in and exhale. If it feels right to you, you can place your hand over your heart. You don't have to, if it feels right to you. And then just begin to ask earnestly, what would be of value for you to take away, to receive during this class? What would be so valuable, so meaningful to you that you would literally leave changed? You would leave inspired, transformed, evolved, and then just listen. And then I'll be going back to that when Joy and I start. And then lastly, so we have safety, we have intentionality, and then what is the last thing? I wrote it down to make sure I didn't forget. Hang on. Oh, hello, sacred listening. The most essential of counseling skills. So if you're a coach, we have many, many, many coaches that are signed up here. So this is also a way to not only learn to coach yourself more deeply, but to coach your own clients. So sacred listening obviously is counseling therapy 101. But what I want you all to do in this class is when you're listening to Joy, I want you again to be translating and listen to your own self in a very sacred way. You're listening for underneath the words. You're listening to your own hurts, to your own pain, to your own trauma, to your own wounds, to your own challenges, to that which is trying to get your attention here. And then we're gonna work with that. You'll see, I'll work with that after we're done. So that was a mouthful. I like to put a lot into a small space. I always say I like to dive right into the deep end. So you may want to just watch this replay over and over and over again. But with all that said, I'm going to take another deep breath, and then Joy and I, we're going to jump in, okay? So let's all take a nice deep breath. And exhale. Thank you, Jackie. Put the link to the 12-week class. And just give me a quick yes or no. Everybody with me? You with me? We're creating a safe space both for ourselves and for Jackie. It's like she's under her warm blanket. She can share anything. We have lots of yeses. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Tia, Erica, Yukti, Michelle. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're creating this global energy of safety. Can you imagine if we had a global group coaching course where we're all dotted around the globe creating safety, how this would transform the world? Thank you, Hani. Thank you, Yvette, Amma. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so we're going to jump in. Like I said, I have no idea where we're going to go, but I know we're going to go deep. So let's just take a moment. Assuming you're not driving, just everyone gently close your eyes. Again, if it feels right to you, just place your hand over your own heart as a way of connecting to your heart, your highest self, your spirit, your soul, your authentic life, your authenticity. So how deeply grateful and privileged, honored I am to get to have this time with Joy and to get to have this time with each individual who is here, embracing her, embracing themselves, live on the replay. It's not lost on me the power that is here, the transformational power, the transformational value that is here when a group of committed, like-minded truth seekers all join together. And so I know that exactly where Joy is, she is surrounded by the quality of safety. She is held in a container, as are we all, of love, of acceptance, of deep compassion. And this space that we are creating together is so utterly safe, so confidential. We hold this in a sacred way that she feels that she can share anything with us. Anything and everything is embraced, invited, and welcomed in this inclusive space. And I absolutely know that from her sharing, from her vulnerability, she is guided, she is directed, she is connected more deeply with her own intuition, her own inner guidance, her own wisdom, more deeply than perhaps ever before. I know that everything and exactly what it is that she needs right now comes to her easily, gracefully, and abundantly in a way that is easy for her to understand. And so I'm grateful. And then whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes. And then Joy, you finally get to talk. Why don't you share with me your intention?
So my intention is to surrender. To surrender to whatever is blocking this part of my healing that I want so desperately to heal.
So beautiful, perfect. So you said whatever is blocking this area. So do you want to share a little bit about that? Anything that comes to you in a very uncensored way, doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, but what do you feel is blocking you?
So I think
slow down and let that come out, because that's exactly why we're here, right? So brave of you.
Oh, goodness. Sorry, I didn't expect this.
Mm.
I think I want to continue where we were with our session on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much of it there. And I know it needs to come out. I know it does. So a little bit about what we talked about on Monday is some sort of intimacy issues and stuff that's going on between me and my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff that I've held on to for many, 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 many years. Probably due to some stuff that happened in my childhood. And so Suzi and I did a lot of,
Okay, relax, slow yourself down. It's why we're here, and tears are good and they're cleansing, and they're here for you. So just slow down. It's okay. Let them be present. It's okay. We have time. We're not going anywhere. You don't need to fill anybody in. Don't worry, they'll catch on.
Okay, so then I'd like to just pick up
Beautiful.
where we were from Monday.
You're talking intimacy. And
Yeah.
you're talking intimacy between you and your husband, and that's so vulnerable. And then you had some things happen in childhood that are getting in the way. So keep going.
And I don't have a ton of memories. I have some, but I know that there's still just certain things that are in the way of me feeling physically connected, emotionally connected at times. And he so desperately wants that for me. And I so desperately want to give that to him. But I also want to feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And I don't feel relaxed and authentic in that area.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give you some space to just see, you tell me what's the underneath it. That would be like after we're complete, that you would go, I'm so glad that I shared that, like that needed to be present here. Take all the time you need.
That I feel comfortable in my skin. And that I can connect with him physically. I mean, it's just not there. And when I do, I feel like I'm just doing it because I'm a wife and that's what I'm supposed to do, instead of feeling the connection.
Yeah. So these are my words, not yours, but it's almost like you don't feel in your body, right, when you're with him. There's a disconnect, right?
It's like I disassociate almost.
You disassociate. Yeah. So share anything about the discomfort, like the pain of not being able to both feel comfortable in your own skin with him. Just again, uncensored, doesn't need to make sense, but what is the discomfort? What is uncomfortable?
The touch. Feeling like I'm not, okay, so it doesn't have to make sense. Feeling like I'm not good enough.
Exactly. Exactly. So just stay right there and keep your eyes closed, and then go back to any time that pops in. Doesn't even need to be related to this. Any time when you were a child where touch made you feel very uncomfortable, where touch made you feel not okay. not enough. Keep your eyes closed, but just share what's coming forward if you feel comfortable. You're safe.
It just feels like wrong, like it wasn't supposed to be that way, like I wasn't supposed to do some of the things, like I was just a little girl, just didn't feel normal.
Yes. So there were things that you had to do as a little girl, and you knew deep down they weren't, quote, right, normal, so it didn't feel good. So these will be my words, not yours. You were a little girl, and inside of yourself, you knew your own boundaries, and you knew what you were comfortable and not comfortable with. But a bigger person took advantage of you. You were little and you didn't have the voice to have a boundary for yourself, right? I mean, that's what I'm deducing.
But did I know that?
What's that?
Did I know that? Like, should I have known that? Like because in some ways it felt like it was wrong, but in some ways it felt like it was normal.
Yes. But I'm just going by what you said. What I think I heard you say was exactly that. That's exactly the conflict. Is part, you said part of me, right? Just thought it was normal, but part of you knew that it wasn't, right? So then cut to your own relationship with your husband now, and it's conflicted because you still feel that incomplete, conflicted pain from before, and then it's present now, correct? Is that accurate? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, it is.
Okay, so we want to go back, close your eyes again. We want to go back to that little girl part of you in whatever came to you when you had your eyes closed. And keep your eyes closed, but just let me know if and when that memory or feeling is present again. Okay, okay. And now I want you, Joy, that you are today, the adult Joy. I want you to see that little girl part of you in that other environment. And I want the adult Joy that's sitting in your chair today to just look over at her. And I'm going to say some words and you just translate it into whatever feels right to you or whatever resonates. Take it, leave the rest. So you're saying to her, I see you. I see you in that space. And I can't change what happened. And I'm so sorry that happened. But I can take you out of that space now. So again, I want you to just keep saying to her, I see you. I see you in that pain. I see you in that conflict. And I can take you now from that space and I'm going to place you in my own heart right now. Just take your time and take that little girl part of you from one environment and place her in your heart right now and just let her know right now in this moment you are safe in my heart because my heart is a safe space for you.
She feels really scared.
Yes. Just tell her, completely understandable that she would feel so scared. Especially if you too have ever judged yourself as an adult in your relationship with your husband. So she's felt scared as a little girl and then scared in your adult life. So you're saying to her, thank you so much for being honest and saying that you feel scared. And of course you would. And I'm also sorry for any ways that I have judged you or made you put you in situations or had you feel scared in my adult life. So what I'm coming to you now is wanting to make amends, wanting to create a healthy connection and inner relationship. And I'm mostly wanting to create a very healthy inner intimate relationship with you so that then we can experience intimacy in the external world. But first, it's just me and you internally in my heart right now. And just tell her, or that part of you, there's no rush. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. It's a process. And just for today, just for this moment, we are close in this moment. And just check in with that part of yourself and just see what that part is feeling. Take your time.
It feels like there's a part that just wants to shut it off.
Yes.
And I'm trying to talk to her.
Yeah. So again, you're going to say to her, of course you want to shut this off. Of course, it makes perfect sense. You would want to cut this off. It's painful. And I just want you to know that I am right here. I am right here with you. And if you need to shut it off for a moment, that is perfectly fine. I'm not going anywhere. I am here. It's okay. Maybe this is enough for this moment. You want to be in gratitude that that little girl part of you was even brave and courageous enough to even be as present as she was. You want to be saying to her and that part of you, I see your bravery. I see your courage. And you get to take your time. You get to lead the way. You get to come out if and when you feel safe. And I'm sorry for any ways that I have unconsciously or inadvertently had you feel unsafe as well. I'm sorry for any ways I have carried on and internalized that. And I want to make amends. I want to create safety, but you're leading the way now. Any of that that feels resonant for you. And then you tell me what feels present. Take your time.
I'm telling her that I'm creating the safety feels.
Yeah. She gets to lead the way now. And you cannot change your past, but you can 100% create inner safety now in your world. That is something you can do. And you want to tell her and let her know that is your highest intention, your highest commitment, your highest dedication. And then lastly, again, just before you open your eyes, again, just say to her, I see you. I see your bravery. I see your courage. I am here with you. You get to take your time. You're leading the way. Anything that is real for you to say to her, real and meaningful. Say, I see you. Now is the time. Healing is happening now. It's a process, and yet healing is happening in this moment. That moment of inner reconnection is real, and it's happening now. So I want you to embody that and anchor that and feel that the cells of your body are different than when you started. And don't open your eyes yet, but when you do open your eyes, I want you to open as more integrated, more embodied. You are now, when you think about both what happened to you as a little girl, your relationship with your husband, your relationship with yourself, you think about it from this place now. Do you see? Yeah. Okay, excellent. And then whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes. Yeah. Thank you. That was so brave and courageous.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's just take a moment. Yeah, just take a moment. I should have told you to bring Kleenex. So let's just take a moment. Again, just acknowledge yourself, appreciate yourself. And now I want to take you, and then we'll be like just 2-3 more minutes. Then I just want to take you with, now you are in your life though, and your intention was around intimacy with your husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sorry if I feel like I'm rushing you.
No.
Okay. So obviously, as you see, the first step to intimacy with him is going to be inner intimacy. So 99.9% of all the work we're going to do right now is going to be inner intimacy, this inner connection. And
right.
You can see how the more comfortable you feel and that little girl place within you feels, you can see. However, in the meantime, you're still in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly your sense of close. I don't know a lot about the way that you guys communicate and relate. But what I would say, if it feels right to you, and just for the sake of time, because this is also a demonstration, we can talk about this more in your next session, to find a real authentic way to just let him know what you said at the beginning. You go back and watch the replay and you listen to your own intention, which you're saying that your intention is that you do want to have an intimate and connected relationship with him. Mm-hmm. That is authentic and real. And you just let him know that you're in a process. And I think, most people on planet Earth, when they hear from that vulnerable, authentic place, this is what I want, and I'm going through a process. I just want you to know I'm moving through a process. Probably his heart will open, and then obviously we keep going on your sessions. Does that feel like something that would be be workable for you in your world? Like, does that feel resonant?
Yeah, because I think it opens up a dialogue, because I just typically just don't say anything. Right. And so it's like the elephant in the middle of the room. Yeah. So wow. I feel like you would appreciate that. I do.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So that's also so deep, right? You, like you said, you disassociate. And so then there's shame, and I mean, these are all my words. I'm just making assumptions. And then there's a big elephant in the room. So, and typically this is so important, right? Because typically when this happens in any area of our life, it could be finances. You happen to be talking about intimacy. We could be talking about finances, career, boss, girlfriends, parenting, children. Mm-hmm. Typically what happens when there's anything that we haven't healed, we don't necessarily have then the words to go talk to the other people about what's happening. So what you're just saying is really powerful, to say it's going to be able to open a dialogue without even having to talk about the specifics, you're getting to let him know in a dialogue and a communication. And that's going to create more intimacy already and safety, because safety and intimacy are basically the same words.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're saying is that it can open a dialogue so that you're beginning to presence and label the elephant in the room in a safe way.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Which starts to build trust too.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Do you feel complete for this moment? Is there anything else that you need or want to say or share so that you feel complete in this moment?
No, thank you. I mean, I feel better. I mean, my shoulders were a little tight and I had a little pit in my stomach because it was on my mind today because I knew this is what I wanted to do. So thank you, Suzi, and thank you to everyone. It's almost like no one was there. I mean, you really made me feel that it was just us, but I felt the support. So thank you to everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
This is the power of what can happen when like-minded individuals come together, because I am certain that if this could happen in 20 minutes over a 12-week period, I am certain that no one will leave the same, and that will exponentially expand. I am certain this is how we transform the world. That's why I wanted to start doing these in a more public way, because I'm typically behind closed doors. But when we give a peek into what happens, the power of transformation for each individual watching and witnessing will ripple out. So I thank you for being so courageous and brave and real, because we do know each other, and you could have chosen any number of things to talk about, which would have been perfectly fine. And though you talked about what's really present in your world today, and I hope that everyone has been able to take this and find a way to make it your own, whether you're married, whether you have children, whether if there's something in your life, like you were saying at the beginning, that's blocking you. And again, that could be in finance, in your career, in your parenting. If you have something in your world that is sincerely blocking you, then rewatching this over and over and over again will give you a roadmap to follow in your own way, right? So beautiful. So thank you, thank you. So stick here with me, because what I want to do is Jackie, my glitter glue, is giving me notes. So Jackie is saying to read all the chat to you. So they're saying to you, Joy, we are here for you, Joy. Take your time. So courageous. I am crying too. Now you're gonna make me cry. I am here for you too. I am feeling so much for you, Joy. Your honesty is touching me deeply. Thank you, Joy. I have no words. Thank you, Joy, for being so brave and vulnerable. I hope you're taking this all in. We honor you, Joy, for sharing and getting to walk with you. Thank you. Brave. Thank you, Joy, for being so vulnerable and sharing with all of us. So powerful. Thank you for sharing so vulnerably. Thank you for your vulnerability. We're holding and sending you light and love. How sacred and precious are you, are your teachings, I think. I can't see what Ama's thing is in this chat. Hang on, let me see if I can get the whole. Oh, here. How sacred and precious are your tears. Thank you for surrendering. Brilliant. Thank you, Joy. Your message speaks to me. I know why I am here now. I hear you. I feel you. Blessings to you, Joy. Thank you for sharing your heart. You're courageous. Much love and light your way. Your surrender makes me surrender. That is the power of what's possible here, and this was 20 minutes. So I'm going to take you all through my perception of this. Joy, you can jump in at any time, because I have a very sincere desire that you all are able to really make this your own and leave here different than when you came. So I'll go through, and then if you all have any questions that you want me to answer, please feel free to just write it in the chat, and I'll go through and I'll answer any questions, or at least as many as I can get to. So you started with an intention. Your intention was around intimacy, and you shared how you have the desire to want to create intimacy with your husband and also inside of yourself. A lot of this is going to be my words because I was so present that I'm not remembering exactly your words now. And so you were aware that there was something about touch. Mm-hmm. So, and that touch was uncomfortable, and then you didn't use the words numb out or dissociate, but however you were describing it, that's what I heard. And so I just wanted to connect you, and there's many, 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 many ways to do that. I just chose in that moment to connect with a time or a way or a place where you felt uncomfortable with that touch. So all I did, if you're coaches, this will be helpful to you all, but in your own life, something in the present, whenever there's pain, and you said in your intention that there was a block. Mm-hmm. So whenever there's pain, a block, a challenge, something getting in the way in your present, the only thing that would be getting in our way in the present, the only thing, because right now, every single one of us right now in this present moment is fine. The only thing that would be getting in our way is something that's incomplete from our past that is still in our present orbit. And it's here for a good reason. It's trying to get our attention so we can transform it, so we can soothe it, so we can heal it, so we can give it medicine. And so the medicine that I chose tonight was to take you through it, for you as the adult to see the pain that you were in. So then what I did was, rather than having you and the pain enmeshed, and you and what did you say at the beginning, the block? Mm-hmm. So you and your block get enmeshed when you're, let's say, intimate with your husband. Mm-hmm. So you and your pain are enmeshed. Mm-hmm. So I chose a skill that would have you, the adult, go and connect with that part of you that was uncomfortable. So then I'm giving a I'm slightly helping you to unenmesh. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right. So that is the healing process, is to give spaciousness to that which is tight. That's why I always call it a knot. So you have a knot in your consciousness, and I'm helping to loosen the knot. And I'm doing that through a lot of spaciousness and a lot of compassion, because compassion is the medicine. And at first, that place within you said she's scared. So that meant that the knot was still tight, as of course it would be. And so then we just slowed it down, took our time. Another couple of things I did was to have you, the adult, see that although something did happen to you when you were a child, there are probably ways that you have continued to, bully is not the right word, but like infringe on your own boundaries, intrude on your own boundaries. So you were not kept safe as a little girl, and there are probably ways through, like I said, criticizing yourself for how you are not comfortable with your husband. You know, you've probably inflicted, is the word I was looking for. You've probably inflicted more pain and shame and blame onto your own self, correct?
Oh, definitely. Judgment, okay. Criticism, all that.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why it doesn't really matter about the past. You could just be in the present and talk about how you've shamed, blamed, criticized, judged your own self about your lack of comfort in your own skin with your husband.
Right.
So
Right.
you have inflicted that on yourself. So that's why I did another part of making amends, because that's what we do. Something happens to us as a child, and then we internalize what's happened, and then we inflict it onto ourselves, and that's how generational patterns keep going. So then I had you loosen up, I had you take responsibility for the way that you have inflicted it upon yourself, and then begin to make amends with yourself. That's again how you create safety, compassion, medicine. So is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, we talked about then how to take that inner healing that had happened and how to then bring that in just a tiny, tiny little baby step back into your life. So 99% of your work moving forward, and everybody's, whatever you're working on in your own world when you're watching, 99% of your work is the inner safety and the inner amends, the inner apology, the creating the inner safety, and the trusting and the knowing that as you create your own inner safety, then exactly what you said, which was so brilliant, is that you can then go have a dialogue with whomever or whatever is in your external world. It might not be another person. It could be with your finances. It could be with your own body. It could be maybe you're just wanting to lose, you're wanting to lose weight or tone up your body or something with your finances. It doesn't have to be with another individual. It could be your career. It could be you're building your own coaching practice. It could be whatever it is that you have a block to your external. First, you're seeing how you perpetuate it inside. Perpetrator, that's the other word I was looking for. There was a perpetrator in your life, but you perpetrate and inflict that perpetration on your own self because you're judging yourself and shaming yourself, right?
Right.
So then you're
Well, you feel like you deserve it. Like you feel like that's what you deserve.
Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. And then I'm going to open it up to questions because we're running out of time. I'm so glad you said that. Oh, guys, did you hear this? Go back and watch the replay. It's like our inner selves are so freaking brilliant. I can't even tell you the brilliance. If you go back and watch this and listen to your own self, it's so brilliant. The first thing you said when I had you go back was, and you said something like, it doesn't make sense. And then you said, oh, it doesn't need to make sense. That's right. You said something about the pain, the touch. You said the touch. And then the next thing you said was not good enough. You put like I could have said right there to everyone, like that's the heart of the healing. You paired touch with not feeling good enough. You made a pairing, an energetic pairing, because when you were touched inappropriately, you felt something must be wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And now because that isn't healed, cut to your relationship with your husband, and touch and feeling not good enough are still paired, mm-hmm. and it shows up in your present. Do you see? Mm-hmm. So that's the brilliant. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. There's so much here. I could literally spend 2 hours with all of you guys because I see the healing potential in everybody's life, right? But let's just go to the chat and let me see if there are any questions. Are there any questions? No one has written any questions on here. If there's any questions around that, or just any comments or any other love and acknowledgement and appreciation to Joy. So while you all are watching, yes, Susie, how will the Facebook site support the course? How will you respond and assist us in Facebook? So anybody that's taken my courses will know I will dedicate myself. So we'll have a private Facebook group and we'll do this weekly. And then you all will be translating this into your own life. I'll work with different people, or we might just take one theme. We'll see how it's gonna all work out. And then you will ask questions, or you will share your own epiphanies, your own insights, your own challenges on Facebook, and I will answer them. And I'll dedicate time each week right here. So you don't even have to wait for the Facebook page. So like even right now, so Yukti is asking Joy, how did it feel to create the safety for the little girl? So while you're thinking of that, how did it feel for you to create the safety? I want to just make sure I'm answering this completely. So both in the weekly class, I will have the last, hopefully 20 minutes. Once we get a flow going and I won't need all the introduction, we'll jump right in to whomever we're working with that week. And I'll do a session, and then we'll have a lot more time for questions right there. So you'll have me answering in dialogue. Maybe I don't want to claim that I'm not great with technology, but I might be able to have more of you on the screen, but definitely on the chat, and I'll be able to answer questions. So how did it feel for you to create the safety for the little girl? That's a great question, because that's something I hope that all of you all are doing, is learning to create the inner safety. And that's certainly something we're going to be working with a lot during the 12 weeks.
Right. So for me, because I've been working with Suzi for a while and have taken some of her other classes, actually, before the class, I got a picture of my dad and me, and connected with this before the class. So I probably spent maybe 5 or 10 minutes just looking at her, trying to go ahead and start to create the safety, because I've worked with Suzi, so I knew some of the language that she would use with me. And then when you're working with her, it just happens. I don't know how to explain it. It just happens. It just happens. You just.
Well, I think also you were very authentic, right? You weren't trying to make something happen, because the first thing you said was that that part of you felt scared.
Right.
So it wasn't like, oh, there's safety now, everything's okay, right? There was safety, and there was safety. This is such a great question, because there was safety enough for authenticity to happen. So authenticity happens when there's safety. To the degree that there's safety is to the degree that you will have authenticity. And so then you worked with what is the scared part, and you embrace the scared part. So I don't mean to answer for you, but that's a part of it. And this obviously over the 12-week, I really, really hope that all of you watching are going to do this 12-week course. Because I know how powerful. I can guarantee you, utterly guarantee you, that you will leave after 12 weeks free and liberated. You're going to be amazed at how deep I'm going to take you guys. I mean, this in 20 minutes, we went here. So imagine week 8, 12. But and I'm also making it very affordable for you guys. There's payment plans. You can pay like $195, like less than $200 a month. And my own individual sessions are like $295 or $250 if you buy in groups. So it's just a huge, massive savings, because I want every one of you in this course. I don't want money to stop it. But I want it because the power of what you're going to witness and then leave with, you're going to get the gift of transformation, and that is priceless. I will tell you, I am a different individual than when I first got married, when I first had my son. So I know the power of transformation, and I know how to facilitate it, you know.
And I do think, I feel while you're looking at that, it does feel like you automatically feel, like Suzi said, when you're around, you feel already connected with people that have your same vision, that feel like-minded, that are after transformation and healing and growth. And so you just feel the energy. It's just there. So that was powerful for me, because what you can do in a group versus just individual is so much harder.
Exactly. So I'm going to answer these questions. They're all great questions, and I'm going to try to be done in like 3 minutes, people. How do you disengage those two things, the touch and the not feeling good enough? Brilliant question. This must be a coach. Oh, Amma, she's a coach. She's like a student of life. Is it instantaneous? Is that going to happen with the safety? 100%, it's all about the safety. So what she's asking everybody, is how am I going to help her to disengage? She has tight touch and not and feeling not good enough. So you better believe, maybe we'll have you come back. Do you guys want Joy to come back? So because that's a great question. That Yukti's question too about inner safety and this, they're connected. So that's right. We have to loosen up. Right now she's got it enmeshed, touch and not feeling good enough. So I'm going to work it from the angle of touch, and I'm going to work it from feeling good enough, and I'm going to work it together. So I'm in my consciousness, I'm going to be coming to it from many different doorways. So maybe we should do a follow-up about the course. How are going to be the coaching shares between students? So A, right here, you're going to be able to do it right here, and then maybe we'll copy and paste them, or I think you'll be able to have access to the chat. So you're going to be able to do it right here and on the Facebook page, where you can really go back and read and reread, and you can share between the, between any of you guys. And I think this is related. Can I share something that happened? I have enrolled already, yay, and have been worried about sharing openly on video, knowing that it will be recorded and public. During the session, my computer just lost video and there was only sound. I saw this as the universe was telling me that I can turn off the video if needed. Just wanting to share in case there's someone else that's scared too. Thank you. That was on my list to share. So I like how the universe always supports us. Thank you very much, Deb. Yes, you can always turn off. And I actually had asked Joy the same question. I had given her the option that if she wanted to not be on camera, that was perfectly fine. I do lots and lots and lots of sessions by phone. So I actually, on most of my sessions, almost prefer not seeing the person, because I have my eyes closed and then I'm just tapping in to a space that is transcendent of the person. It doesn't really matter, but that is absolutely an option to do it without video, both on your end, this end. So thank you very much. Great. Because we do, that's why I said we want to create a really sacred and safe space. And this is public, but it's not public because I'm asking you guys to hold it sacred and not share this link. I mean, if someone wants to share now, we know that this is a free course and we actually want you to share this now. So we both knew that because we want as many people as humanly possible in this course, because the more people that are in this course, the more exponentially expansive the transformation can be. So if you know people, if you have friends, if you have, your partner, whatever, and though once we have the class, it's going to be a safe container where we're not going to be sharing it. Okay, excellent. Happy to be with you, you lovely people. That's a beautiful way to end this. Happy to be with you, you lovely people. So I would like to say a sincere and heartfelt thanks to Joy. It's not lost upon me, and I'm sure all of you, that she reached into the depths of her own heart and shared what is real. And I hold that in my heart in a sacred way. And I know that all of you are doing the same. And so when you feel right at this moment how grateful and appreciative we are to Joy, please also know that that gratitude and appreciation you want to mirror and reflect back to yourself, because you created the time and the space. And like Deb was saying, she already enrolled in the class and she's scared. So that's a courageous individual, right? She took the leap and she's scared. So appreciate yourself for whatever it took for you to get here. And please, this is free. Watch it, rewatch it, apply it to your life, take notes, journal. Whatever it is that can be useful to you from this class, please use it, share it. Yes, so just to be clear, sharing in the course stays in the course. It will not be shared outside. So I'll say that again. Absolutely. Forgive me for not saying it up front at the beginning because this was the free class, but absolutely in the course, what is shared in the course stays in the course. Okay. So I think that Jackie, if you wouldn't mind, let me see if this is going to be the link. Oh, here's the link. I did it. Here's the link for you all to enroll. And I'm extending $100 off. So there's already a great payment plan if you want. And if you enroll within the next 24 hours, 48 hours, you'll get $100 off. So if you have anyone else that you want to share it with, please share it with them. Please, please, please enroll for your own growth, for your own transformation. And I thank you all for creating such a safe space for joy, and take the power of that with you and apply it and appreciate and acknowledge your own self. So if there's, yeah, early bird is for the next 48 hours, $100 off. So I'm trying to make this as affordable for everyone with the payment plan, so that everyone joins. So thank you all very much. It's not lost on me that this was a very deep way to get to spend an hour of our time, and I'm very privileged and honored and deeply grateful. And I know that those 12 weeks are going to only exponentially deepen and expand. So thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank
I
you.
see you in the course.
Thank you. Big hugs.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. All right, everyone. See you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, go to my Facebook page or Instagram or somewhere and let me know. Email me. We want to know how this landed upon you guys. Are you leaving with some good next steps? That's what I guess would be the most important thing to leave with, are your own next steps. I think if anybody is still on here, I don't know if you guys have left, but if anybody's still on, just let me know if you're leaving with some good next steps for your own self. And then we'll split. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really deeply appreciate you. That was awesome. High five. Here, cheers. Do you have a glass?
I don't. Thank you for holding space for me. Thank you.
My honor. Deb saying she's feeling safe to be open and share deeply. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you, Susie and Joy. Bye to Carol. It was beautiful. Quick question. Go for it. Next steps for me are clear and optimistic. So that's great. So I'm just leaving with next steps. That's what I just want, is people to leave with next steps. Yes, I feel like Deb, ready to share openly and vulnerably. Thank you. Yes, it's always online. It's always exactly that. So the question is it always online? Yes, we're always going to meet here online, and you'll always get replays sent if you can't make it live. Always, always. I loved what you said about the degree that there's safety is to the degree that there's authenticity. Exactly correct. That's why little kids come onto planet Earth feeling so authentic. Little kids, until and unless they are trained otherwise, are deeply connected with their authenticity. You have to be trained away from your authenticity. Why? Because a little child comes in feeling safe. You come in feeling safe. And to the degree that you're trained away from that safety is to the degree that you'll put your authenticity away. So that's why I think this is so profoundly powerful, because we have 100%, we don't always know the skills. That's what I'm going to be sharing over the 12 weeks. But we have 100% power to create inner safety. And therefore, to that degree that you create the inner safety, your own authentic self will reemerge. That's awesome. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that you appreciated that. All right. Very powerful, Ipek. Beautiful, beautiful, darling. 12 weeks, and each week we'll have a live class, yes. And the replay is sent, yes. All right. right, everybody. I think we've done our work for today. I just appreciate and adore you, Joy, and I appreciate and I adore everyone who was here and those of you watching the replay. And I hope to see you all in the class.
You too.
All
Good
right.
night.
Bye. Bye, Joy.
Bye.